The best way to help your children is not to give them advice. Adults, children, don't walk away because their parents were imperfect. I'm Robert Hale. I'm 84 years old. And today, I want to talk about something that might save you from the kind of pain that stays with you for decades. Adults, children, don't walk away because their parents were imperfect. They walk away because of the lack of repair. It is not from one explosive event, but from years of dismissal, boundary violations, criticism, or neglect. You see, at this age, people expect me to give advice. They lower their voice when they ask questions, as if age itself makes answers more accurate. Parents in their 40s ask me how to raise their children. Young people ask me how to choose a career, how to make money, how not to waste their lives. For a long time, I played along. I answered carefully. I tried to be useful. But the older I get, the more uncomfortable I feel doing it. Because the truth is this: people like me are no longer qualified to tell others how to live. That may sound strange coming from an old man. We are supposed to believe experience equals wisdom. But experience only works when the world stays the same. And the world has changed too much, too fast. The rules that shaped my life are gone. The systems that rewarded my choices no longer exist. The mistakes I avoided are not the same dangers young people face now. So when I give advice, I'm not handing over wisdom. I'm handing over a memory. And memory is a dangerous thing to build a life on. When I was young, there was a clear path. You could work one job for decades. You could save money and trust it would hold its value. You could follow instructions and expect stability in return. You could be patient, obedient, careful, and the system would meet you halfway. That is not the world my children grew up in. It is certainly not the world my grandchildren live in now. Yet many parents my age, and even parents in their 40s and 50s, still give advice as if nothing has changed. Do what I did. Be careful. Play it safe. Don't take risks. They mean well, I know they do. But good intentions do not protect someone from consequences. Let me explain something that took me decades to understand. Remember, the best way to help your children is not to give them advice, but to listen to them. Let's say they do what you say, and something good happened to them. They will still not count it as their victory. And then, let's say they failed, following your advice. Well, they pay the price for that. And you can't skip away and say, I should have spoken more carefully. You don't miss with people destiny. Advice feels helpful. Listening feels passive. That's why advice is so tempting. It makes us feel useful. It makes us feel responsible. It makes us feel needed. Listening does the opposite. Listening forces us to accept that the decision is not ours, and that is uncomfortable. Here is the part most people don't want to admit. When you give advice, you are never the one taking the risk. Let's say your child follows your advice and something good happens. They get the job, they make the money, they succeed. Deep down, they won't fully own it because it wasn't their decision. It was borrowed confidence. And now let's say they follow your advice and fail. They lose years. They lose money. They lose belief in themselves. Who pays that price? They do. You can step away and say, "I meant well." Or worse, "I should have explained it better." But you don't get those years back for them. You don't carry the regret. You don't live with the doubt. This is why advice is risky. And this is why people who give the most advice often carry the least responsibility. I saw this clearly with a friend of mine. We grew up together, worked in the same industry, trusted the same rules. His son was different, curious, restless, wanted to try things his father didn't understand, new technology, new kinds of work, unstable paths. The father was afraid, so he advised caution. Don't do that. That won't last. Stick to something safe. He thought he was protecting his son. The son listened. He respected his father. He followed the advice. 10 years later, the safe path collapsed. The industry shrank. The skills became outdated. The son found himself behind, angry, unsure of himself. The father said, "I didn't know it would turn out like this." That sentence says everything. Advice does not come with accountability. The son had to rebuild. The father only had to explain. Parents over 40 need to understand something difficult. When you try to make your child's life easier by solving their problems, you don't remove pain, you delay it and multiply it. Children who grow up protected from consequences don't grow confident. They grow cautious, dependent, and unsure. They learn how to follow instructions, not how to think. They learn how to obey, not how to choose. And when they reach adulthood, they don't trust themselves. They need approval. They wait for guidance. They panic when no one tells them what to do. You think you are helping them succeed. What you are actually doing is teaching them that their judgment is not enough. Failure is not the enemy of growth. Avoiding failure is. A young person who fails early learns faster. A young person who fails often develops judgment. A young person who owns their mistakes.
But that only happens if the failure belongs to them. You cannot borrow someone else's failure and learn from it. You have to live it. This is why listening is more important than advising. When your child comes to you with a problem, resist the urge to fix it. Ask questions instead. What do you want? What do you think will happen? What are you afraid of losing? Help them clarify their thinking, not replace it. Show them the map if you must, but don't choose the destination, because a person who learns through their own decisions becomes capable. A person who lives through other people's decisions becomes weak. And this applies beyond parenting. To young people listening to someone my age, be careful whose advice you accept. Experience does not automatically mean relevance. A long life does not guarantee understanding of a new world. Respect elders, but do not hand them your destiny. The world you are entering is faster, harsher, and more uncertain than the one I survived. The skills you need are different. The risks are different. The paths are different. You will fail more than we did. That is not a weakness. That is adaptation. By failing, you become tougher. By struggling, you become sharper. By choosing for yourself, you become independent. And to parents, especially those over 40, your child does not need you to be their decision maker. They need you to be present, honest, and patient. Listen more than you speak. Resist the urge to control outcomes. Allow them to take risks while the cost is still survivable. You don't raise strong people by removing difficulty. You raise strong people by letting them face it. At my age, I no longer try to give advice. I listen. I ask questions. And when I don't understand the world someone is entering, I say so. That may be the most responsible thing an old man can do. Because the worst mistake is not failing. The worst mistake is living someone else's decisions.